Hello, I'm Luke Neller and welcome to Best Replays of the Week. In this episode we have a cunning defender, a Spapanza on a rampage, and a spectacular display from a T-49. Let's get started. Let's begin by listening to the familiar sounds of high-speed projectiles striking thick steel plates. Heading into a firestorm at Live Oaks is a Type 4 Heavy commanded by Betabug from the EU region. The Heavy rolls into town, announcing its arrival with a blast from the boom tube. Early on, the match is more about punishing the opposition than tanking their shots. The Reds do try their best, but fighting this Japanese monster has to be demoralizing. It seems to shrug off any hits, and the return fire is truly devastating. The Moison at least should provide a challenge. Sparks fly off the armor in the clash of titans, but for the longest time, that is all that happens. Betabug's teammates tip the scales as the German gunner finds a chink in the armor. This inspires the gunner to pay it back in kind. Farewell, O worthy foe. The endgame starts 4 against 4, but the squishy teammates aren't long for this world. The open ground here seems a little too dangerous, even for a wall of steel. The other side of the hill has healthier climbers. The Tier 9 Leopard attacks with courage, causing severe damage. The IS falls back to firing HE rounds. It's mostly just annoying, but the damage is mounting up. Ouch! This is actually starting to get serious. The Type 4 is a mighty beast, but even dragons can be slain. Reload seems glacially slow, but the payoff was worth the wait. Boom! Just one more to go. Make no mistake, the IS could totally win this, but it's not going to. A single mistake is all that it takes, and the steel wall remains unbroken. 8,000 damage, nearly 9,000 blocked, and an impressive number of kills. The HE shells did a surprising amount of damage, but the steel wall stood firm. Great job, Betabug! The sniper of the week is Altensaar, who plays in the American region. Their weapon of choice is a UDES 03, which gets to see some action at Erlenberg. Finding a good firing position is a bit of a challenge, but Altensaar does find it eventually. The location brings in a couple of kills, as well as a respectable amount of damage. A fast reverse gear comes in handy when the targets run out. Nice shot, but you probably shouldn't stay out in the open. Reds attempt a rather cheeky capture. The tall grass gives just enough cover for taking them apart in relative safety. The survivors try to run, but it's much too late for that. The slaughter is complete. The foes have been reduced to a few stragglers, such as the Easy 8 here. Let's put it out of its misery as well. A Tiger Porsche is a sturdier target, but that just means firing a few additional shots. The end result is the same. Impressive accuracy, with even more impressive damage numbers. Add in 9 kills and a chest full of medals for Altensaar. What's not to like? Let's follow that with a Top Gun game. The player is E-Play, in command of a Spapanza SP-1C. The location is Karelia on an EU server, with our champion on the defending side of an assault match. The Spapanza dashes across the swampy terrain, scoring the first kill just 40 seconds into the match. The remaining shells find a new home in the soft body of a Borsa. This is dangerous ground, but E-Play isn't going anywhere. The next trio of shells deals punishing damage to a Levy, which doesn't stick around to be finished off. The FCM likewise draws back when engaged. A critically damaged Škoda T dies on the second attempt, which leaves an extra round for securing an uneyed kill. This has been a rather nice start. Let's finish off that Levy while we're at it, maybe with a second uneyed kill just for style. The third attempt at the trick fails, as does the attempt on a rival Spapanza. Ah well, as long as it's dead. The FCM is still there, and it's in trouble. Let's give it the help it needs. Is anyone up here? Oh boy, yes there are! Tag, you're it! The plateau is a little too hot, so E-Play offloads the magazine into an E75, which turned out to be difficult to damage. Would a Carnarvon be squishier? Apparently so. Now the E75 is showing its butt. That's just rude. Taking out the Scorpion G would be great, but a single magazine doesn't quite do the trick. After a reload, the TD has vanished. Not to worry though, here's another one of the same make. And the boxer from before, as a bonus. Once again, the wounded Scorpion manages to get away. Slippery creatures. It decides to stop running and fight back, which is probably a mistake. A hunter's instinct suggests that the first one is somewhere close, maybe just around the corner. Boom! That's 10 kills. Better do a reload before going after the remaining heavy. 1, 2, 3. Nice damage, but the foe is still standing. Is there enough time for a reload? Teammates take the heavy down to a sliver of health, but it's E-Play's final heat shell which hammers in the last nail. That was just about perfect. I'm not sure we've seen a light tank dominate the opposition quite so hard before now. Amazing work, E-Play. Staying on the EU servers, we'll go from Top Gun to Defender. Rolling Aggie 98 brings an AMX CDC to Irhaluf, showing us how these things are done. The battle is an encounter, giving a lot more time when it comes to defense. The first customer is an RU-251, loitering on the edge of the circle. Rolling Aggie has a pair of HE shells for soft-skin targets like this one. The first round works like a charm, but the second one is a bit disappointing. As a consequence, a rival CDC gets in a shot before the kill is secure. This is a dangerously open spot for the defender's unarmoured machine. Survival will depend on gun depression and mobility. A hit from the E75 could ruin the whole day. It needs to die before the gun goes off. The next shell very nearly hits a teammate. Luckily, almost doesn't count. Rolling Aggie is on a roll, putting on a display worthy of a Confederate award on its own. The rival CDC does some damage, but it doesn't live long enough to boast about it. The battle seems to be going quite well for the Greens until the team suddenly collapses. Another one bites the dust, but there's still 4 to go. I wonder if this Jagdtiger is going to do anything useful. The big TD does manage a kill before getting owned. That leaves 3 to deal with. And here we go. It's about time this turned into an actual defender game. Since there's just one Kappa in the circle, our defender has plenty of time to play this smart and sneaky. Since the Kappa can't be seen from here, let's take care of the others first. And speak of the devil, there's the SPG. It's likely the tank rather than the TD in the circle. Yep, there it is. There's no shot to be had from here, and the Reds will be waiting. Better head back the other way. Detection happens suddenly, and the quick draw contest isn't a great success on either side. The Waffen tracker pulls back for a moment before resuming its watch. Peeking out where it expects would be suicide. Here, on the other hand, au revoir, mon ami. Nicely done, but now the capture is getting uncomfortably close. I guess we'll see if the mobility of the CDC lives up to the hype. 99, 100, and reset! The T-34 is too strong to fight in the circle. Rolingi puts in another shell before sprinting away. Time is not really an issue, so the shots can be carefully set up. When Sixth Sense goes off, it's time to back off. In theory, the match timer could become an issue, but our defender wraps up the game with almost a minute to spare. Not the most dynamic defense fight, but the opponents were completely outplayed. The early game was worthy of a Confederate award in itself, which is quite a trick combined with a 7th kill Top Gun. But with 100% reset, that makes it a defender in my eyes. Rolling Aggie, you know what your name is. And now, let's wrap up the episode with a piping hot crucial contribution from the American servers, courtesy of WK France. The game is a Tier 9 encounter at Redshift, with a T-49 as the machine of the hour. And as you can see, Franz has brought along a friend. The action starts on the fly, without slowing down to aim. After circling around the hill, the next target is a rival T-49. The capture circle and its surroundings are a hot combat zone. Franz stays on the move, dealing damage as the opportunities arise. This Panther is so focused, it's almost a shame to break its concentration. Almost. With a 3-machine capture on the way, Franz is free to go hunting. Where do you think you're going? Some enemy hero seems to be sabotaging the capture, while our own champion is busy shutting down the artillery support. As their Kappas deal with the problem, Franz arrives to guard them from further interference. The Oh-Ho gets a pounding, and the S-Tank finds out it's not quite as sneaky as it thought. Can the capture be saved? Not with such hasty shots, it can't. The Oh-Ho blows up on the next attempt, but an E-75 has broken through. There's a fox among the chickens. A slow, heavily armoured fox, but a fox nonetheless. This game isn't going to be decided with a capture. It's time to just kill everyone. Another one goes down as the teammates pull out all the stops. The last one is a French autoloader, which proves to be surprisingly sturdy. The SU charges in bravely, but foolishly. Let's try another heat round. Now that's more like it. One more hit should do it, but there's no need to risk facing that autoloading cannon. Franz sneaks in close, charge and win, 6/10 lights up. Boom! And that's all she wrote. What an excellent game! An 8-kill Top Gun is pretty sweet on its own, but as that base experience shows, this one was something special. Well done, WK Franz! That's all for this episode. Nice aggressive games with plenty of skill. We look forward to seeing more of those from you guys. I'm Luke Nella, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Boom! That's 11 kills. It says 10. I don't know why I said 11. I don't know how that comes out sometimes. Apparently I can't read English. Nice damage, but Tifo stays up. The FCM, likewise, draws back when engaged. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What? Ah. Au revoir, mon ami. Where's my coffee? Oh ho, gets a pounding. Bada boom, bada bing.